Hey guys, so here I am again with yet another video. This is now, I think, the fourth video I've made in the last couple of days, and once again, just when you think things can't get better, they do. So hopefully this is the last video. I know I said that in the last video, but hey, things get better, they get better. So let's take a look at what's changed. Well, firstly, the clock is a lot neater now. You'll see it's got neatly laid out. Of course, for the guys that are watching the first time, we're talking about the desktop Conky clock in Core, which you can access via the settings manager, desktop clock. You can right click on the desktop and choose desktop clock, or you can access it from the sidebar, the little clock widget, which we're going to do right now. You're going to see a couple of changes here. Already most of these you know. For the sake of the demo, once again, let's switch off all the desktop icons. There we go, they're all off. You can do that right from inside the clock. You'll notice a couple of additional settings here as well. For the guys who's seeing the clock for the first time, you can change between digital and analog. Just click a button and it changes. That's it. Digital, analog, very quick and easy. You can change from white to black. Obviously, black looks nice on a light background, and white looks nice on a dark background. So as you can see, it looks very nice, very pretty. Some nice. You can change from 12 to 24 hours on digital, so 12 hours. We'll add AM PM there, or switch back to 24 hours. Very nice. And of course you can switch the clock to the left of the screen or to the right of the screen, which is why we disabled the additional icons. Some guys were asking about whether you can't just move the icons to the other side of the screen. I suppose you could move the icons anywhere. Let's enable something like the home icon. You could go to customize over here and you could take off auto arrange, and then you could put the home icon anywhere you want and then move it to the left, and now you can drag your custom icons, well, pretty much anywhere you want. Okay, so it's just customize, turn off auto arrange, and then of course you can drag the icons anywhere you want. Obviously you don't want them on the clock because then you can't select them, but if you want your clock on the left and icons on the right, you can do that. Okay, so additional icons off. Let's go put on auto arrange again, just okay, and let's move it over to the right because I want to work on the left of the screen. Right, so additional options. You've seen the refresh clock. If you click that, it just refreshes the clock, resets the script. If anything goes wrong with any settings or your clock goes off center, if you're using multi-monitors or changing resolution, you just click refresh clock and it should fix your script right up and put it back in the corner. Weather settings, you've seen this. If you have not set your weather, which means the first time you install MakuluLinux Core, it's left blank, so it says that please set weather zip code in clock options. So you just go to weather settings, choose get code, will open up the website. So let's do that quickly just for demo purposes. Just hold on, there we go. It's opening up AccuWeather. Here you type in your city name, like mine for example is Da Nang, Vietnam. Da Nang, Vietnam, there we go. And there's the code, 352954. That's my city code, 352954. It's also over here. As you can see, I used my own code there. Example code 352954. So now I go to enter code and I type in 352954, enter. That's it. Very easy, very simple. There we go. Terminal will close by itself. And if you look there now, I've also added weather for not just today, because the previous video that I showed, we just had the current weather today, mostly cloudy, whatever, it was 25, now it's 26. We've also added a little forecast for tomorrow. So it says current weather, mostly cloudy, 26 degrees Celsius. Weather tomorrow, 21 to 29, cloudy and humid. You can also change from Celsius to Fahrenheit. As you can see, that is Celsius. So you click Fahrenheit, it will reload the little weather with Fahrenheit. And go back to weather settings, Celsius, We'll just refresh with Celsius. So nice. It not only gives the degrees, but also gives like a little weather forecast of the current conditions. So that's nice. Today and tomorrow. And then it says tomorrow 21 to 29, cloudy, humid. So very nice. Just a small little addition to the weather information, but it just sort of makes it nice and snazzy. Of course, we've added this button here because if you want to, once you've set your weather location, it's quite hard for the script to detect the numbers that you input. I don't want to create a lengthy script to store variables to use later on. Instead, I've just made a little reset button. So should you need to set the weather code for a second time, like perhaps you move to a new location, or you're installing on somebody else's PC, or whatever the case might be. I mean, you're taking your drive out, you're putting on somebody else's PC in a different state, or whatever the case might be. Just click the reset weather button. This actually resets your script just back to default. That's it. It just resets it back to default the way it was when you installed. And then you can just go and set your weather again. Enter your code, and you can put in there, what was the code? 352.954, 352.954. Obviously put in your own code. I'm putting in my code for my city, and there we go, done. And I can close that, and there we go, weather is back. So very easy, just reset it, and reset the script, and you can just go through the process again, should you need to set it a second time for whatever reason. Okay. So very nice. Weather, the little weather options are very straightforward. I mean, this is not rocket science to follow. It actually tells you exactly what to do, and of course you can reset it should you want to. Okay. The additional options. Now this is new. Right, this is probably going to be very exciting for some guys, because what happens if all this information you don't want? What happens if you want to disable the weather, or disable the news, or disable the system information and have only the clock? Now, I took away the disable clock option because in core, that's the only clock. There is no clock here, there's no clock anywhere else, and the person needs a clock. So really you shouldn't disable the clock. But I guess a lot of people might not want all of this stuff cluttering their desktop, right? So I've added little additional options where you can turn off certain segments of the Conky script. System information, this block. Weather information, this block. Important news, this block. So if you don't want the news feeder, you can just switch it off. There we go, done. Additional options, news is off. You want news feeder back on, just click on, and there we go, it's back on. That whole block gets turned off. So you can turn off news, you can turn off weather, and you can turn off system information, and just have a plain clock with little calendar, or time and date on your desktop and day. That's it. So if you want to turn off the additional options, you can. And now you can move your script to the left, to the right. It will still remember exactly any changes that you made. So very awesome. Just when you think things couldn't get any better, I go and I do this. I give you the ability to turn things on and off as you wish. You want system information back? Just click on. You want weather back? Just click on. You want additional the news feeder back on? Just click again. I have to tell you though that I do not recommend turning off the news feeder. I mean, I know we don't send news often, but if we have any kind of important news to send through, you will not get it if this is turned off. So it's never a good idea to turn this off, but people that want to can, obviously. That's the nice thing about choice. One other thing I do want to note though is that the system information can only black, white. Okay, sorry. The system information can only be turned off on the digital clock. Okay, so as you can see here, the system information can only be turned off on the digital clock. Go to digital, there's no system information, we've turned it off, but if you move over to analog, you will still see the system information there. I'm sorry, but it just causes problems with the script if I disable the system information with this little analog clock, so I've decided to leave that there. So the system information can only be turned off on the digital clock. On the little analog clock, it still leaves us. You can turn off the weather and you can turn off the news feeder, but not the system information. which is not just a big deal. I mean, it's a beautiful clock, and the system information kind of just completes it. So yeah, so we've got all these options to turn things on and off. Turn the weather back on, turn the news feeder back on, and then you have your complete Conky script again. And so there you go. So in a nutshell, if you open up your desktop clock GUI, you have many options now. What started out as just a simple Conky script with an on-off switch and a refresh button now has analog, a digital, black, white, 12, 24-hour, left, right. You've got weather settings over there. You've got desktop icons that you can turn on and off if you want to move the clock around. You've got a refresh button over there. And you have certain portions of the actual script that you can turn on and off, like news, weather, and system. So turn off the news, turn off the weather, and so forth. So yeah, very, very, very awesome. I think it is now complete. You know, I think this is awesome. I think this is going to be awesome. I think I'm done with it. I'm not sure whether I will still keep changing anything, because I know I keep saying I'm done and then I keep editing things, but I really think I'm done now. I think we have a very complete GUI here to basically manage the clock. You can switch off certain portions of the Conky script. You can set your weather, move it around, change it from digital to analog, and set the time from 12 to 24 hours, black and white. I mean, what else does a person need? This is just awesome. This is really, really awesome. So there, I think the Conky clock is now done. I think we have a really awesome GUI to control it. This leaves the user in full control of his desktop clock. I mean, you can turn anything on and off. You can move it around and change colors and change from digital to analog. I mean, that's plenty. That's plenty. That's probably a lot more than most scripts even give you. So yeah, that's it. What do you guys think? You can leave a comment in the bottom. This will be in the beta, by the way. The beta that's going out to the supporters, this will be in the beta. So how awesome is this? In just the next, what? I said 14 days. That was a couple of days ago, so I'd say the next, next maybe 5 to 10 days or so, you might get to just play with this and enjoy it. Anyway, that's it, guys. That was another video from me. Keep watching, keep supporting the project, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Let me know in the comments what you think of the new clock GUI, complete with all these extra options. You know, I was sitting here for many hours creating this, so I hope you guys appreciate it. And I think we have probably one of the most unique clock options in any Linux distro. I know that you've got Conky with a million options, but I mean, that's a third-party team that created that. That's not an actual Linux distro developer. I mean, we build the Linux operating system, and we actually build the GUIs for the clocks and so forth. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. So anyway, let me go know what you guys think in the comments below, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers, guys.